what started as a few friendly tweets back and forth, it's become a full-blown international competition. So you talked a pretty big game about Canadian pops, but I'm pretty sure that American pops are by far superior.
Oh, no. Canadian pops are the best.
No, American pops.
No. Canadian.
American.
Canadian.
American.
Canadian.
American.
Canadian.
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 It's not how it's supposed to. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another edition of Let's Get Cereal, the weekly show where I, your host, Alyssa Marino, eat cereal, talk about stuff, and sometimes talk to people. And joining me today is a very special guest, WWE superstar, Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, how are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Thank you so much for being here. All competition aside, I am very excited about our cereal exchange program. That's what I'm going to refer to it as now. So shall we show our breakfast buddies what we've got in store for today? A drum roll, please.
Yes. Canadian.
Yes, I will be trying Kellogg's Corn Pops, special imported, even better, with the French, imported from Canada.
When I first tweeted you, it was because Canadian corn pops are so much better. They're puffier, they're rounder, and usually American corn pops are a little bit smaller and kind of odd shaped, like a rock on the moon. Do you know what I mean? Like if a meteor came down, it's a little bit odd shaped, but the Canadian ones are full circular puffs.
Hi, baby.
He always has to be around me.
What a little ham. I love it. Well, a cat, but I know I've had American Pops at least within the last 6 months.
You'll know.
But I'm curious, when was the last time that you had Canadian Pops?
Well, see, I never tried American Pops after I tried them the first time because I did not like them. I was like so shook that they were different and I couldn't figure out. It's funny, like America and Canada are so close and so similar, yet the weirdest things are different. So my favorite food to eat on my birthday is Canadian Pops. So I probably had them only a year ago, but American,
If it's enough for you to say you were never going to have them again, I'm going to have to really give this a thorough decision here. So while I'm getting my bowl of cereal poured, I'm curious to know, is the box the same that you remember? Is it like, what is seeing this box?
It's the same, except for the big red Kellogg's label is very large and red, and that was not a thing before. And then what does it say up top there?
Sans aromel ou colorant artificiels, which I think is without artificial.
No artificial flavoring, maybe.
It says it on the back in English. No artificial flavors or colors. I only took a year of French, so I'm just, just to be safe.
Un petit peu.
Already, I see what you mean about them being much more symmetrical and circular, like a puff instead of a pop.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I did read on the side of the box that these have an ingredient called fancy molasses, which I just think is fun to say. Fancy molasses.
Okay, I kind of like that. And you know what? That might lead me to my next difference in Canadian and American, which is I remember Canadian being sweeter.
And that could be. It could be because of the fancy molasses. So, let's see, we're going to add the milk and make it a party. Is this the kind of cereal that you would have as a kid, like while watching Saturday morning cartoons or wrestling or...
Okay, so I like to say I was so hard done by. I was not allowed any sugary cereal. None. We're talking I only had regular Cheerios or regular like Shreddies or Chex. Very upsetting. So that's why it's a thing for me on my birthday to have Lucky Charms, corn pops, something sweet.
And this is why we get along so well, is because we have, same mindset with the sugary cereals. So without further ado, I'm gonna tear into these. I'm gonna render my verdict till the very end, but
Okay.
all right, I'm ready. So Chelsea Green, my friends, let's get cereal.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm living vicariously through you.
You realize I'm gonna like drop off the rest of this box to you so you can have it. So that's what friends are for. But okay, the texture is slightly different. I feel like these are a little bit more airy, whereas American Pops are a little bit more dense. Definitely.
Well, and that's actually a little bit of a downfall because they soak up the milk real quick. They tend to get soggier.
Feelings on soggy cereal.
I like a crunch.
Thank you.
You know?
We are just here, Chelsea. Well, okay. So all competition aside, like I said, I'll be saving my verdict till the very end.
Okay.
But before I get to my final decision, here on Let's Get Cereal, we are all about learning things, and so I would love to learn a little bit more about you. So you're from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. You graduate of Lance Storm's Storm Wrestling Academy in Calgary. You started your journey in the ring in 2014, and not long after, you would travel outside of your native Canada and have matches in the United States. Was this your first time visiting the US, or had you been before?
So because I'm so close to Seattle, just Washington in general, I was always going down for little shopping trips, or, I'd already been to Florida for spring break, things like that. So I love traveling, and that's why it was absolutely no problem for me to be in this wrestling industry and be traveling all the time and picking up. And I feel like I thrive on early morning plane rides and things like that. I love it.
From all of your travels, all the different, I'm sure, people that you have met along the way, what would you say is non-Canadians' biggest misconception about Canada and about Canadians?
That we all know each other and that it's like this tiny little town, all of Canada. And I thought, so we kind of joke that Americans think that about us, but I never truly thought that was real. Mm-hmm. And then I remember getting to the States and someone asked me, there's a few questions that I'll never forget. One was, do we have highways? Yes, we have highways. Two was, what currency do you use? And I was just shocked because in Canada, we learn about the entire world and we know a lot about America and a lot about, everything from like the like the Chinese dynasties to everything. Like we learn it all. And I was just thinking like, dang, you could walk across the border and you guys don't even know that we have a highway? So rough. That is kind of, those little things like that are wild to me.
Okay, so you don't all watch hockey, apologize for everything, and are overly nice.
Wait, no, maybe we do. We do those things.
I mean, close. Those are not bad things to, have a misconception of. So in a dream scenario, obviously, considering the current situation, if someone were going to be visiting Victoria, British Columbia, Canada for the very first time, what will be some of the junk food dishes that they have to try that are some of your favorites?
So we've got a little hole-in-the-wall poutine place called La Belle Patate, and only locals know about it, and even a lot of locals don't know about it, and I'm telling you, like, I dream about the poutine from there.
Now, for folks at home that don't know, give us a rundown of poutine, please.
So poutine is fries with a massive scoop of gravy on top and cheese curds. Now, not just cheese. These are not cheese fries. Cheese curds are cheese imported from Montreal, made in a specific way. So they're lumpy and gooey and it's just like heaven.
You can't get anything like it out here. Like you have to be at one specific spot in Canada, in Victoria, British Columbia, kind of zeroed in on that poutine place.
100%. And that's where I always tell people they have to go when they come into town. La Belle Patate.
La Belle Patate. Do we
the
know
beautiful potato.
The beautiful potato? Oh my God, that just made me so much happier. The
Right?
beautiful potato. Perfect. Now, Chelsea, as we talked about before, you are a world traveled competitor. So Japan, India, Mexico, Australia, all across the US. Now, out of all the locations where your career has taken you so far, is there a particular place that stands out as really special to you? Either an experience or just beautiful scenery?
Every place like sticks out in my mind because it's so cool that I've been able to go to Japan, go to Korea, go to India, go to Mexico, Australia. But I would say that the place that sticks out the most to me would be India because it was my first, if I'm not counting America, overseas. You know, it was my first overseas trip as a wrestler. I was so new. And also, I broke my collarbone there.
Yeah, you had quite an experience in India. Yeah, I remember
Yes.
doing a little research on that. If you
Yes. I broke my collarbone in a match in India in front of, I think it was like at least 60,000 people.
Perfect.
It was like a WrestleMania. They had to airlift me to a hospital with the broken collarbone. And there's so much, like I could tell this story for hours. It was so insane, the things that happened. But they treated me like an absolute princess in hospital for about 5 days while I had surgery and recovered. They were so sweet, so loving, so caring. I taught them how to make a milkshake, so they would make me milkshakes. Yeah, they were just like, it was such an amazing experience for how terrible it could have been breaking my collarbone in a foreign country without my parents there, you know?
That's terrifying. What a scary experience.
Right? Yeah, it was right at the beginning of my wrestling career. And I had traveled on my own before, but you know, India's very different. Like, you don't know what you're getting into until you go to India. It is culture shock to the extreme. And a lot of those cities, they don't have cell reception, you know? So it was, it was a very humbling experience, but also just like amazing. I left so happy and everyone was so sweet.
That's definitely a memorable place and a memorable experience. Now, I told you I was doing a little bit of research before we chatted, and something I saw on social media the other day I wanted to bring up. A video of you spending some time with a neighborhood cat. Now, we saw one of your cats also was in the shot. I think I saw dude who I do follow on Instagram walk by. I'm a big fan, if you don't mind letting him know.
Love dude.
I feel like pairing this up with the just menagerie of pets that you have, you are a borderline like Disney princess level of animal magnetism. So I am very curious, is this something, did you always have this affinity for animals? Did you grow up with having a lot of pets?
So yes, I'm obsessed with almost all animals. I love them all. And for some reason, wherever I go, animals come to me. So the neighborhood cat, Sammy, we've had another cat, which I call like the porch cat. His name was Boo. He used to come to the back door. I once in high school had a husky show up at my back door. No clue why, just heard my dogs barking, went outside, there was a big husky. One time in high school, I had a tiny little Yorkie follow me all the way home. I swear, like, I don't know what it is, but I did always grow up with animals. We've had a couple dogs, cats, we had a pet pig, Wilbur.
Oh.
Yeah, a Vietnamese potbelly pig. He was like 100 pounds. He was amazing. So I have always had a love for animals, and I'm so glad that as I got older, I was allowed to have as many as I want. So now I have 3 cats and a dog, and I love it. And my fiance Matt has totally grown to be a crazy cat daddy and dude dad.
I was gonna say, he was receptive to it, or did he have the same experience with animals that you did?
No, not at all. They had a family dog growing up, but he never had the love that I did. And I kept saying, like, I just want a cat so bad. A house isn't a home until you have an animal. So we got our first cat, and I'm telling you, I would say he was too afraid to pick the cat up at first. And then it took maybe a week, and then he was obsessed. And then he kind of said, like, well, now we have 1 cat and he's alone. We need another one.
Oh, slippery slope. I see what you did. Okay. I like the way you think. I like the way you think. And speaking of Matt, and speaking of Disney princesses, I know that you're both big Disney lovers. So I just wanted to know, what is your favorite Disney movie of all time?
I would say, I mean, I just love a good classic. I love like Ariel and Cinderella, and I love every remake of Cinderella, like all of them. I love the Cinderella with Brandy in it. I love the Cinderella story with Hilary Duff. Like,
Yes.
I don't discriminate. I love every remake of Cinderella ever. Also, Matt would call me like a because he's such a diehard Disney fan. Like diehard.
You think he's a bigger Disney fan than you are?
He's like obsessive. Oh, way bigger. Like obsessive. If he could go every single weekend to Disney, he would. It's not me. I love Disney in a very normal Disney way. I love feeling the magic of Magic Kingdom, and I love sitting down and watching a good Disney movie and, you know, all that. But he is the true lover of the house.
Good to know. Good to know. I was going to ask, how many collective pairs of ears do you guys have together?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Like, I have so many pairs of ears, and Matt went to Disney Sea in Japan. And yes, and he brought me back. I think so far he's brought me like 4 pairs of ears. He got me these really cool Japanese leather ears. Like, I've got ears for every outfit.
I love it. You're always prepared. Well, Chelsea, I do want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today and for opening up my taste buds to Canadian pops. It is that time, so thumbs up. I think in my final verdict, if I could easily get my hands on Canadian pops, I would buy them before I bought American pops. They feel the while we did say it has the airier texture, I feel like it feels crunchier. It feels more cereally to me than pops do. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you tried them, that you loved them, that they beat the American pops.
This was a life-changing episode of Let's Get Cereal. I know that I am not alone when I say that myself and many others, we cannot wait to see you back in action sooner rather than later. Until next time, my friends, continue to do your best to be your best, and we will see you later.